Hi there, I'm Dr. Rai, founder of More Life Brain Health and Healing and creator of the 2018 Stress Hack. I help people that are having issues with their body, whether it's clients seeing me because they get sick all the time, they're having issues with their digestion, their body is constantly hurting, or they're recovering from an injury. A balanced brain and body can help. I help people who have tried everything to get their mental clarity, focus, energy levels, peace of mind, and purpose back in their life, and have either been unsuccessful or who have made temporary progress only to slip back into old patterns. I promise to show you what no one else has been able to explain. What's at the root cause of the issue you're struggling with? What's the reason why your digestion feels off? What's really causing this restlessness, this feeling tired all the time and on edge? Do you want to know why you're constantly having racing thoughts about the next project, presentation, or test? Even when your body is dead tired at night, do you still have racing thoughts that are keeping you up and robbing you of your energy and making you susceptible to getting sick? In the Stress Hack ABCs, I'll show you how to take control of your mind so that it starts working for you rather than sabotaging you and working against you. We'll go into the saying of paralysis by overanalysis and show you how to simplify your life and sometimes actually do less to get better results. I'll give you a plan to achieve your goal of a more balanced, composed state where you're feeling relaxed, light, energized, and with the right strategies to properly respond to the various stressors in your life. And also with the right strategies as well. This is where true confidence comes in, where you feel like you have the strategies to be empowered and take full control of your life. Thanks for requesting your copy of the Stress Hack ABCs. It should be arriving in your email in about 10 minutes. Inside the Stress Hack ABCs, I'll reveal to you the hidden link between your stress response, your stress hormones, and your low energy levels. I'll also show you the 3 hidden causes of your repeating stress cycles of low energy and inadequate sleep and how to break free from this and take your energy back. I'll show you why you're tired and fatigued and how even the most ambitious goals in the world will leave you feeling disappointed when you're running on empty. Learn the 2 modes that your body moves back and forth between, and depending on your body's stress levels, if you stay in one of these modes too long, you'll drain your energy without even realizing it. Do you have trouble focusing, remembering, or recalling information? Do you feel like you're constantly spreading yourself too thin at work, school, or in family life? Do you notice yourself getting sick frequently? Do you have anxiety and get rigid around presentations, exams, or public speaking? Where you're frustrated at how things went with the presentation and feeling like things didn't quite go your way? Does this interfere with your work or your studies? Are you scared because you don't know what's causing it, or why your brain just doesn't quite seem to be working properly? If so, you're not alone. These are all the symptoms of an imbalanced brain and body stress response. As you'll learn more when we explain the hormonal response and the brain physiology, the stress response is a systemic or body-wide response, as opposed to a more localized issue such as rolling your ankle in a soccer game. This systemic body-wide response affects numerous areas of the body and therefore causes lots of different symptoms that may not seem related at first, but when you understand stress, you'll see how they're related. I learned this lesson of stress, your brain, and your hormones the hard way. Go back in time to my sophomore year in college, fall semester. To give a quick background on where I was at with my life at the time, I was on a mission to fulfill my childhood dream of becoming a professional soccer player. Yes, I was a college student with various other responsibilities and whatnot, but my main focus was to stay dialed in on making this dream a reality. My college had produced a number of professional players in the past, so I really believed I was under a system and a program that could do the same for me. Sophomore fall semester, I started noticing shooting electrical shock-like symptoms down the outside of my right leg and into my foot. It would make it difficult for me to focus in class and would get aggravated every single time I'd sit down for extended periods of time. I never experienced anything like this before, and it was nothing like the muscular soreness and pains that had become normal on the soccer field. This was something much different. I knew something with my body was off, and so I decided to investigate it further. I found the best orthopedic surgeons at Dartmouth Medical and basically went there for another opinion. They took an MRI of my low back, and it came back with a herniated disc. This disc, basically what they said was what was causing the nerve interference and electrical shock-like pain I was having down my leg and into my foot. And the doctor basically told me I could get surgery or do some physical therapy and take painkillers if I needed them. Basically, the surgery was looking like 1/3 chance I would be better after the surgery, another third chance that nothing would happen, no improvements, and then what really scared me was that final third chance was actually the risk that I would get worse. So the way I saw it, that was 2/3 of a chance that I would either get worse or nothing would happen at all. So I was completely a no for that decision of surgery, and really determined to figure out how to get this taken care of without that. And really I was frustrated at the options that were given to me by conventional medicine. More than anything, I was just wondering how my body could be in this position, in the first place. I really prided myself on eating well, taking good care of myself, and really stayed away from injuries for the most part. I never really had any serious injuries up until now, and it really scared me. So basically, I continued to rehab my back over the entire winter. I took the winter season off. I didn't join the spring season until the very end, basically rehabbed all through that time as well, and figured I was taking care of the problem. I rehabbed all the muscles around the injury, and basically that was the conventional advice that was given was, build up the muscles around the injury, and you'll have enough support, and you'll be able to play. You'll be okay. So after doing this for 2 seasons, I was still training through the summer, and I was walking downstairs one morning, and didn't think anything of it, just a normal morning like any other, so I thought, and I just bent down to do a quick hip stretch on both sides of my legs that I do. At the time I would do every morning. I'd wake up with pretty sore legs from soccer, and so I would stretch a little bit. And this time when I went to do the stretch, my legs completely gave out from underneath me, and I collapsed to the floor. And actually, it was the worst pain I'd experienced in my life. And it turned out to be a valuable lesson I learned that this healing equation is more complex than just building up the muscles around an injury and hoping that it'll get better. There's something deeper going on here, and really I was in a much worse place than even I was that fall earlier that year. So my teammate at the time had to rush me to the emergency room. I couldn't bear any weight on my legs whatsoever. He had to wheel me in, excuse me, with a wheelchair into the hospital to get taken care of, and basically I needed muscle relaxers and a steroid shot just to be able to leave the hospital. It was that bad that night. And basically same thing, I was prescribed muscle relaxers, prescribed steroid medications to take, and sent on my way. And suddenly my world was just turned on its head. I was moving around like an old man, where before that, I had aspirations to become a professional soccer player, and now at age 21 I'm moving around like I'm 70 years old. really, I had to carry myself in perfect posture just so I didn't get these electrical sensations down my leg. And so really I just felt very feeble, very fragile. I could barely bend down to put my socks on in the morning. It was incredibly painful just to do that. And any movement of my neck, even this far away from the injury, up in my neck, even just moving my neck 1 inch the wrong way would send those same sensations down my leg. And it was extremely painful. And so my family and I, we were desperate for a solution, just to find something to take care of this issue and get me healthy and playing again. And finally, just out of desperation, where really surgery was seeming like the only issue, or the only option left. And just kind of out of the blue, the stars seemed to align, and the doctor that ended up being able to take care of me, his wife at the time worked with my mom, and she would always say, I think my husband, I think Frank can help Ryan. His name's Dr. Frank, and she'd tell my mom that every day. I know Ryan's really struggling right now, but I really think Frank could help him. And so, it's funny how it works as a patient. Sometimes it just takes some time for it to sink in. And so, yeah, finally we just got to such a desperate point that we decided we were gonna give Dr. Frank a shot. I remember walking in and showing up for my first appointment with him. I had no idea what to expect. He's an unconventional medicine doctor, and we grew up in a pretty conventional medicine, traditional family. So this was something really new for us to see someone like this. I remember on that first visit, I told him about my diagnosis of a herniated disc. With disappointment, like it was, the worst news in the world. This was something that I thought was jeopardizing my career. And Frank just calmly said, okay, that's what they told you. That's fine. And after explaining some more of my struggles and what I've been dealing with and whatnot, he basically said, if you show up to all your appointments and listen to all my recommendations, I'll have you fixed up in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe he had that much confidence that he really thought he could get me fixed up after how severe this issue was and how long I've been dealing with it season after season. And, I really had no other option. And so I said, okay, all right, let's do it. And I committed to his care plan. I made some basic changes with my nutrition and my diet. Saw him for 2 weeks, and I'll never forget it. After 2 weeks, I was back on the field. And it blew me away. It was something that really just left an imprint in my memory of what he was able to do with me with no drugs and no surgery. And even after those first 2 sessions, I remember I just started noticing significant improvement. It was almost as if my body was in this state of guarding and shielding to protect myself from this injury, and it was slowly unwinding and relaxing and basically balancing out is what it felt like. This injury came close to ending my career, and all of a sudden this unconventional medicine doctor got my issue taken care of in 2 weeks with no drugs, no surgery. I was just completely blown away. And basically he did this by correcting the communication between my brain and the rest of my body via the nerve system. And basically what he did was, after 2 weeks, he was able to create a normal, healthy stress response so that all these stressors that were coming into my environment, I would finally be able to be in a balanced enough state to handle them and adapt to them properly. So fast forward 3 years from when I saw Dr. Frank, I remember it like it was yesterday. I got the call from the general manager of the club. It was in St. Louis. AC St. Louis is the name of the club. And basically I was offered my first professional soccer contract. So after celebrating this accomplishment with my friends and family and, past coaches that helped me get there, and just the journey, of, 10, 15, 20 years to get there, I reflected back to Dr. Frank, and I wondered where I would have been in my life if I never met this wonderful doctor who got me back on the field and back playing again and really saved my career. I imagine what my life would be like if I had instead elected to get the spinal surgery. I wondered why more people didn't know about these options, just like I had it, for their health and for their healing, whether it be injuries, digestive issues, energy and sleep problems, weight management issues. If you're stressed and constantly getting sick, a poor stress response impacts that. So how does the brain's stress response become out of whack like this in the first place? That's really what I wanted to know. What caused this? And Dr. Frank basically told me there's 3 things that can unbalance your system and put your body out of whack. He said it's caused by the 3 T's: thoughts, traumas, and toxins. So we'll start with traumas to start, which is basically a physical event. That could be an injury, a car accident, an athletic injury from football, or say, a head injury from soccer. You could have chemical trauma as well. So say chemicals in your water, like chlorine or fluoride, processed foods and the chemical trauma from that, and even your air too. If you live in a heavily congested city, pollutants in the air. And then finally, thoughts or emotional or psychological trauma. So this is, people's negative thought patterns. A lot of times it's related to emotional scars or emotional trauma that happened a lot of times during our upbringing and during childhood. So once I understood these 3 T's, thoughts, traumas, and toxins, I started noticing patterns in my life. And I could see that when my back would go out, it was always when I was completely overburdened by these stressors in my environment, such as physical stressors like injuries on the field, and chemical stressors, and emotional stressors as well. And so all these times my back was at its worst was when the stress in my life was at its highest. And so I really understood that my herniated disc was really just a symptom that really had a root cause in these stressors. And, like that saying, something's got to go, when you really build up and build up and build up and you don't take care of things, and these issues build. Well, for me, that thing that would go or give out would be my back. And most of us all have our specific areas in our body or our life that, we overburden too much and we have issues because of it. So now that you understand these 3 types of stressors that can throw off your brain-body connection, what are some of the major stressors in your life? Contrary to what has become normal for our ramped up, anxious, go, go, go American society, being in a state of red alert and constantly being on edge about the next fire you need to put out in your life or in your day, it's not normal and certainly not healthy. Since I had this life-changing experience, I've not only discovered the secret to solving this issue in my own life, but I've discovered a system to deliver these same results to my clients as well. In fact, a lot of times I help kids manage focus and anxiety outside of the classroom as well, whether it's a young athlete trying out for their middle school or high school team, or even getting recruited for college play. Game anxiety and performance anxiety and struggling under pressure in the big games can be a big issue for a lot of people, and helping the brain-body connection can help these kids perform at their best. Balancing your brain allows it to signal for the right hormones for you to have calm, cool, collected, and a composed state when it really counts during those big performances. What I've discovered is that creating a healthy stress response, no matter what the situation, starts in the brain. The brain's response to the body's stress signals determines if stress hormones like cortisol, epinephrine, and norepinephrine are turned on versus your relaxation, rest, and digest physiology being turned on, which is really a natural healing state to be in, and much more passive and involuntary state that allows healing to take place. But in today's society, with all the external distractions and demands, most people are operating at a mild level just below a state of survival, scarcity, tense, tenseness and rigidity, and a hyperactive state. This instinctive response goes back to our caveman human origins. And, to the cavemen, it served them well. They confronted a bear or a lion. A natural response would be to either kill it and fight, or to flee from the danger, which would be flight. And this is what's known as our fight or flight response, or a high stress response. The physiology in this stress response includes the blood being shunted to the active muscles for intense physical movement. While this is happening, the digestion is halted as the majority of the body's blood supply is moved away from the digestive organs to be used by the muscular system to either fight or flee, fight or flight. This is why I deal with clients with digestive issues. If you're stuck in this stress cycle, you'll never digest your food properly if your blood supply to your digestive system is being sent to the muscles to either fight or flee, fight or flight. If the majority of your blood supply is being sent to your muscles for intense physical activity in your stressed state, how are you going to digest your food properly? Ever wonder why when you get nervous or anxious about the presentation or other public speaking, you notice you can't eat or your stomach feels tight? Maybe it's during the big test or big exam as well. People see me all the time for digestive issues, and the root cause starts in their brain and having a healthy stress response. It's not so complicated once you understand the stress equation and the brain's hormonal response in terms of stress. I've helped hundreds of clients with poor memory and focus, chronic fatigue, people that are constantly getting sick, people that need to improve their digestive issues, and people that are trying to stay energized and finally get a restful sleep. On the surface, these issues all seem separate, but they all stem from a poor stress response and the miscommunication happening between your brain and the rest of your body. And now I've finally put a system together in the 2018 Stress Hack. In it, we go over the relationship between your body's stress response and the issue you're dealing with so that you can have that transformation you deserve and finally take your life back. How I can help people end the crippling patterns of performance anxiety, including test-taking anxiety, anxiety with public speaking, and athletic performance anxiety. Other benefits include how you can get an edge and have greater performance by getting in tune with the brain-body connection, how, with the help of a balanced brain-body connection, you can achieve in the zone state where you're in a certain flow for that moment and that performance, so you can be at your best when it counts. Learn why an imbalanced brain and hormonal response causes your body to hold on and store body fat as an act of scarcity and survival. Learn why, even though you seem to always be working hard and doing what you're supposed to, you always seem to sabotage yourself and are unable to get the results you want. The Stress Hack ABCs will help you identify your 3 energy leaks in your body's energy bucket. Put holes in this energy bucket and drain your fuel, and you'll be in a low energy state that always sabotages your performance. Learn how to break free from these patterns that rob you of your joy and stunt your growth potential, whether it be in school, the workplace, or with certain performances. For my clients that are frustrated with constantly being stressed, anxious, and worried, getting sick all the time, having trouble focusing, or aren't getting the fat loss and body transformation results they want, this is the missing link, their body's healthy stress response. It all starts in the brain. Like when a fuse gets blown in your home and you need to go to the circuit breaker to reset the power, your brain and your body act in much the same way. When someone comes to me, I figure out which brain center and which body system has a fuse out or needs to be reconnected so that it has running power again. Your brain and your body are the same way as the house and the circuit breaker. Think of me like an electrician for the body. Think of your brain like the circuit breaker of the body. The circuit breaker powers everything in the house, or in this case, your body. The key here is balance your brain, heal your life. Today, I'd like to invite you to join me for a one-to-one breakthrough strategy session at my practice to take a deeper look at what's really going on with your body and your life, and the proper game plan to take you from where you're at now to where you want to be. Normally, the price of this session is $210. But because I'm really excited to launch this brand new brain-body balancing program, I have a special fast action opportunity for you. If you've watched this far and this is connected with your beliefs and how you see the world, then you're the type of person that is open-minded enough to hear new knowledge that could be what's possibly standing in between you and taking care of this issue once and for all. To turn that corner in your life, to get over this hurdle, and have the transformation that deep down you know you deserve. And you also seem like the type of person that takes action and capitalizes on the opportunities to reach your goals and move towards your dreams. You seem like the type of person that takes action towards your goals when you have the proper steps of how to get there. With this issue you're struggling with, you just haven't been shown what's really going on with your body and how to properly fix it. Today, you can book your spot for a one-to-one breakthrough brain health strategy session to come to my office this week and figure out how to get this issue taken care of. I only book 7 strategy sessions each week for new clients, so the spots go very fast. We all know, in terms of being successful at whatever it is we want in life, tomorrow never comes. What you put off until tomorrow becomes something that usually never gets done. The only time you get the results you want in life is when you take action, that leap of faith, and go all in to make it happen now. I'm going to read you a quick testimonial that one of my clients just messaged me this week. He said, "Dr. Rai, I was thinking of you and how it's been a year since I first saw you for my back. A year ago, I was having intermittent pain on my back, but after a few months of therapy with you, the pain disappeared. The exercises you recommended have helped keep me pain-free. Thank you again." So once again, today, you'll get this breakthrough brain health strategy session for not $210, but for $45. The reason for that is to say thanks for connecting, thanks for being open-minded enough to take in this knowledge, and thanks for being curious about your health. So you'll save $165 when you book your session today only. Click the button under this video and I'll see you at your Breakthrough Brain Health Strategy session. And just one last bonus, no-brainer offer. So once again, to make this offer a no-brainer for you today, just because you seem like the type of person that takes advantage of special opportunities to improve your health, I really want to over-deliver with my service to you and give you the best chance possible at finding a solution and creating a game plan to get the results you want in your life. And so I want to include the following second visit at my office as part of a complimentary bonus with the Breakthrough Brain Health Strategy session. Because I'm committed to getting you the best results possible, the second visit is completely free. I can't wait to meet you in person and help you turn your stress and anxiety into a life transformation. Thanks. I'm Dr. Rai.